Believe it or not, I don't know how much y'all pay attention to the rest of the National Libertarian Party, but some states do better and some states do worse at times. And if you take a measure of the overall party nationwide, that gives you an indication. Well, working in the national headquarters now, they have these LP news. Everybody pays their dues and gets LP news, right?
Oh yeah, we all do.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm reading these ones from 10 years ago to help us prepare the current ones, and honestly, that is depressing. The party, by most measures, was twice as big 10 years ago, and if you read what they were talking about how big we're going to be in 10 years, and they weren't talking about how we're going to be half as big in 10 years from where we were in 2000, 2001, and 99. And so that's a little bit demotivating, but that's why I'm very happy about what Michigan's doing. I need some more positive examples like Michigan. Texas is still doing well. I left that position on good terms, helped recruit someone. They've got a good guy, Robert Butler, is executive director in Texas, and I think that party's going to do well, that state. Indiana continues to do well. I hear Ohio is getting more organized and building up, and we need those success stories. I need to be able to write about them in LP News and send emails about them to get other states around the country to realize, hey, just because everything's messed up and no one's doing anything in your state, or you're hearing these problems in the next state, a bunch of states are doing real well, and we proved in Michigan you can go from total chaos and dysfunction. I mean, we had a phone number, an 800 number. Nobody checked it for 2 years. I finally found out who had the code to it. And I listened, and it only keeps 6 months of messages. But there's press. Hey, I want to talk to your candidate, or I'd like to volunteer. And we didn't answer the phone for 2 years. I'm serious. Didn't answer the phone and didn't check the voicemail. And nobody even knew about it. Things can be turned around quickly. We have a small staff in the national office. There's 3 of us full-time, 4 of us full-time, 3 part-time, 10 interns that are volunteers. And to me, the best way to turn around the party nationwide is for our national office to focus on recruiting people to run for Congress. I encourage people to run for whatever they want to run for, and in Texas we run for everything: Congress, state rep, city council. I've run for Austin City Council, county commissioner in the past. It sounds like you guys are doing great recruiting folks for all offices, but things are bad. They're as bad as what you described in the economy, and I think a lot of people focus on what goes on in Washington. In other words, the bailouts are on their mind. Obama's socialized medicine is on their mind. A lot of what Democrats are doing right now, people don't like and they're upset with, but most people, and it's our job not to let them to forget either, most people are still familiar with what George Bush and the Republicans did when they were in control. That $400 billion Medicare plan was passed by George Bush with the support of the Republicans. Just a few years later, I think they said it actually was a $1.2 trillion obligation. And so they did just about what Obama and the Democrats are doing right now. That's the Republicans that did that. George Bush said we need to abandon free market policies because we need to bail out the economy because it's urgent. We have to do it right now. That was Republicans, that was George Bush, and all that did was set the stage for Obama and the Democrats to continue that. I mean, if Republicans think it's necessary, Democrats should think it's necessary. That bailout, I don't know what it was about that TARP bailout. I was kind of trying to get out of politics, trying to go get a job. Maybe it's because the bailout prevented me from finding another job. I don't know, but it's just so infuriating that they can just take $1 trillion or $700 billion or whatever and give it away to businesses that did bad things and reward that. So I also think that, you know, there's a lot of people in the Campaign for Liberty, Ron Paul supporters and others who are trying to get good folks in the Republican and Democratic primaries. Good luck to them. I hope a few of them win. I think some will. A lot of them won't, and we need Libertarian candidates on the ballot so the people who got beat up by the Republican and Democratic establishments have somebody to vote for. They have a way to retaliate. So again, I will be going, encouraging folks around the country where the parties are so weak that they can't do much, at least get some folks on the ballot for Congress. I do hope Michigan runs for all the different offices you talked about, but please include Congress as well. If we have hundreds of people on the ballot as Libertarians for Congress, that's the kind of thing that does start making national news. People pay attention, they get excited, and I can't guarantee that's going to happen, but let's be there, let's be on the ballot in case it does. So again, I'm not going to talk for too much longer. Again, I haven't been back to Michigan for 10 years. Thanks again to the South Vets for bringing me out here. And I hope you weren't expecting me to tell y'all what to do. What I want to do is thank y'all for doing a good job and encourage you to keep it up. I had a lot of success in Texas. There's San Antonio. It's a big city. They would have county meetings, and they told me we're just kind of depressed because we only have 10 or 15 people show up every month. And I'm like, don't feel bad about that. There's only maybe 2 counties in Texas that have more than 10 or 15 people that show up to every meeting. So San Antonio needed to hear they're doing good, and I hope I'm not lying when I'm saying to me it looks like y'all are doing good, and so I hope you keep it up and continue and get the what about that value thing. I did an estimate about a year and a half ago of how much money goes into the Libertarian Party and our candidates' campaigns. I mean, we had 173 on the ballot in Texas, and I think I estimated our party raised $145,000, the Libertarian Party of Texas, and then we had all our candidates, and I would guess they raised not that much last time around. In 2006, there were some bigger raisers, but we had a few $1,000s by several candidates. One guy spent $0. I mean, he didn't even pay for a stamp. He filled out the application, faxed it. That's all free, and he got over 1 million votes in Texas for a state Supreme Court position, and that gave us ballot access. And if he hadn't done that, we wouldn't get ballot access. So it's like we're spending. I actually did it. I don't remember the numbers, but I did it just for state representative. How much did Libertarians spend for state representative races? And then I added up how much the Republicans and Democrats spent. They're spending like $10 a vote. We're spending like a penny a vote or less. And that doesn't mean that I've forgotten all my economic and terms, but an extra penny won't necessarily mean an extra vote. But I think our curve is easier than what the Democrats and Republicans face, and so I said that on the radio. I didn't know if it was a good thing to say or not, because people do say we haven't done enough. The Libertarian Party, you've been around for 30 years or 37 years, you haven't been more successful. Maybe you should all go join another party or be independents or do something else. And I'm like, add up all the money, and it's like maybe $2 million nationwide per year. $2 million. That's what one McDonald's does. One McDonald's, on the highway there, does $2 million. So, if we take it's like, whether we're making an impact or not, we're certainly not wasting a lot of America or the world's resources having this Libertarian Party. And